Well, I was raised as a preacher's kid, so God was part of my life from a really early age. And from early in my life, I really had a strong calling to being a missionary. But, you know, high school comes along, there's a lot of pressures. And I found myself married to a western Kansas farmer, at which point I had taken mission work off the table. I had taken God's plan off the table and inserted mine instead. So for the next several years, I really had trouble finding my footing in my faith walk. Really struggled for several years. And then I found myself as a young single mother, totally overwhelmed, totally at a place where I knew that I needed my whole life in God's hands, that I couldn't do it on my own.
Oh, how could it be that my God would welcome?
One place where I think there was really a growth period was how do I put this? I had my eyes on a person instead of on Jesus. I was modeling my Christian walk after a human rather than on my God. And humans disappoint you. And that was really a struggle for me to get past that, to understand that I had my focus in the wrong place to begin with. And that was my issue that I needed to deal with. And so that probably was one of the biggest growth in my walk with the Lord. In my life, I just needed a job. There wasn't any professional decision to begin with. I had 2 kids that wanted to eat, and I had no experience, and so a job came open at a credit union, and so I took it. And what I found was a place that fit my skills, that gave me an opportunity for growth, that fit with who I am as a person. And so looking back on that, that's totally a God thing, because I had nothing to do with that. When you've been a single mother, a stepmother, a working mother, you look back and you see all the mistakes. And I think women are really hard on themselves in regard to that. We see the problems more than we see the things that we did right. But God works through my mistakes more than He works through my successes. And I think at work, they say that I've been around the block, which is true. But I mean, I've done so many different facets of life that a lot of people can relate in things that they are going through. And so especially in the workplace, I end up with a lot of one-on-one discussions of people that know, hey, Lynette's been through this. I know she's open to talk about it. And so I'm very open about things I did right, and things I did wrong, and just letting people talk with me. And so I think that's become my mission field. That's really a rewarding thing when you can see God take your negatives and use them for His good.
We respond to your...
Being a woman makes a difference regardless of what job you're in, I believe, as far as a professional woman. But that, you just deal with that. I mean, that's part of life. And I think women bring a whole different set of skills than men do. And so I just take pride in the skills I bring. I capitalize on those. And so, yeah, in the world of finance, I'm outnumbered. And I'm outnumbered as far as a Christian, as far as one that really declares their faith and lives it. But neither of those affect whether you can be successful or not. You just do what you know is right, and it all seems to work out in the end. I think if I could talk to some young single mothers that maybe find themselves in the same position I did, where you totally do not know which way to go. One, I'd like to tell them that it's possible, that whatever they think, it is possible. I think I would tell them to find somebody that believed in them and that could help them believe in themselves more than they do. And because that was really one of the keys in my professional development, is I had a boss that really saw past my inexperience, saw past some of my own insecurities, and really helped me grow. And so I think I really pull that into who I am as a boss. That's something I feel almost obligated to do. And so I think if you're a single mom, one, don't settle for just the status quo. You can do more than you think you can do. but you've got to set your mind to it and be willing to make the sacrifices. And a lot of people will say, well, then that takes time away from my kids or whatever. My kids understood that that was just part of life, that if we were going to have a family, I was going to be a working mother. They were going to help me in that process, and I think in the end it was actually good for them. And so I don't think, if you need to be a working mother, I would not have the guilt about it. I would just understand that finding work and home balance is a choice, and you have to be very deliberate on how you do that, because sometimes it weights more to work and sometimes it weights more to the family, but God will help you find that balance, and bringing it back to that as quickly as possible helps you be successful on both sides. I would say if you're going into any type of profession, a lot of people think that being a professional and being a Christian are mutually exclusive, and I think it's just the opposite of that. I think your co-workers want to see a real Christian. They want to know that you're somebody that's authentic. And so I don't ever hesitate to bring that into my workplace. Yes, you have to. I'm not going to push my religion down anybody's throat at all. But on the other hand, I'm going to be totally unafraid to pray for someone if they're open to that, or to have that in my thinking even about my profession, or talking about it to someone. And so I think regardless of what profession you're going into, don't think that has to stunt you as a Christian. I think that that's a huge positive. God wants to use that in the workplace. And I think we need more people I know we need more people in management positions that have the heart of God. I think it would make a whole huge difference in the way that business is conducted. I'm Lynette Leonard, and I'm a member of Lake Overholser Church of the Nazarene.